the capacitance in two dielectric medium. Okay, the two dielectric medium in the sense one it may be the air, one another one it may be the solid. That is why I marked it here. Okay, each medium it's have the potential difference. That is the V1 is the potential which is available in the medium 1. V2 is the potential in the medium 2. So it is the parallel plate capacitor. It's have the distance between the plates, that is the D1. Similarly here it is the D2. Okay, that was the capacitance in the two dielectric medium. We are going to find the capacitance in the combined capacitance, that is the commonly we are connected to parallel plates. So what is the total capacitance in the dielectric medium or total medium we are going to found it. So the total potential difference in the medium 1 and medium 2, that is the V, it should be equal to the V1 plus V2. So the V1 we know the relationship between the voltage and the electric potential, that is the electric potential and the electric flux density, electric field intensity. So V and E relationship we all know, the V it should be equal E into D, but here we are considered the primary potential in the medium 1, V1 it should be equal E into D1. Similarly V2 it should be equal E into D2. So we can consider here itself, that is the medium 1. So here it's have the electric field intensity, that is the E1. Similarly here also the E2. Okay, so we need to find it out resultant capacitance of the medium. So we can expand the electric field intensity. We know the relationship electric field intensity E it should be equal D by epsilon. So we can write like that, the epsilon is epsilon naught into epsilon R1, because here epsilon R1 is the different. So we need to expand it. So the Q divided B, we all know the D it should be equal the Q by A. Okay, so we are writing again Q by A, the remaining term we can write like that. Okay, that is the E1. Similarly E2 also we written. Then we can found the potential in the medium. So the E it should be equal V1 plus V2. We already written here. So the V1 the case, that is the E1 D1, V2 means E2 D2. So we have to write like that. Then E1 value and E2 value we already here expanded, so that you can substitute it here. Then you can found the resultant potential. So here you can see that common term Q by A, so that we can take it commonly. Then D1 by epsilon R1 and epsilon R2 R0, epsilon naught. So similarly D2 have the epsilon R2 into or epsilon naught into epsilon R2, because it's the medium 1 and medium 2 here already we written. So here the common term alone we are taken outside commonly. So the remaining thing, so you can multiply here itself, you can D1 into epsilon R2 into epsilon naught, it will come. Similarly here also it will come. So while you are making the cross multiplication, we can found the value like epsilon D1 epsilon R2 plus D2 epsilon R1, it will come like that. And then epsilon naught it may getting cancelled. So we need to find the capacitance. So the C equal to Q by V, right? The C equal to Q by V. So from this expression Q is there, here the V. So you can take it commonly, the Q you can V you can move from here LHS side to RH side, Q by V it will come. Then the remaining all time you can shift it on the RH side. So the A into epsilon naught into epsilon R1 into epsilon R2, while you are making the cross multiplication, so it will come like that. Okay, so while you are making the cross multiplication, it may like D1 epsilon R2 epsilon R0 plus D2, what it will come, epsilon R1 epsilon naught, divided by, you can multiply it here, the epsilon R1 epsilon R2, then epsilon naught square it will come, right? Get it? So it may getting cancelled, because here epsilon naught here or epsilon you can take it commonly and you can cross multiply it. After the cross multiplication, epsilon naught alone it may getting cancelled, remaining one epsilon naught alone it will come. So you can shift it, so you can remaining term you can it will come like that, A into epsilon naught into epsilon R1 epsilon R2 divided by divided by D1 into epsilon R2 plus D2 into epsilon R2, right? D2 into epsilon R1. Okay, so that is the Q by V, we all know that is the capacitance. Then this is the actual formula or resultant expression for the capacitance in the two dielectric medium. Okay, if you have any doubt you may ask. Okay, thank you.